Today we're revisiting the GTX 1070 Ti. It has 8 gigs video memory. I decided to stick with 1080p. It's the native resolution. There's no FSR, DLSS, or any other of that funny business. Just straight 1080p performance. We'll be using a low-end budget system that you should be able to put together regularly for $400 to $450. The specs that we're using on this are the Ryzen 5 5500. You could use 3600 if you wanted to. A B550 motherboard. We could have went with a B450, but this allows us to upgrade the processor and GPU. It has 16 gigs of CL16 3200 megahertz memory. The build had a 512 gigabyte SSD in the system, though I would definitely suggest doing 1 terabyte because 512 doesn't go very far these days with the size of games. It's also going to have a basic case under $60. However, you want to make sure that when you're buying the cases that there's at least a back fan and 2 front fans for this system. I don't think you're going to need too much more cooling than that. And the final thing is a basic Thermaltake 600 watt power supply. This should at least allow you to do some GPU upgrades and handle a slightly beefier CPU down the road. This is Horizon Zero Dawn. It is the original PC port and not the 2024 remastered edition. I set everything over to high settings, no upscaling as I mentioned, and targeted 60 FPS. The basic setup I am using for this 5500 and 1070 Ti is just using an old office Dell monitor, which runs at 60 Hz, so it won't even matter if we get more than 60 FPS. Game got a solid frame rate. In this benchmark, we got 59 FPS average and 40 minimum, and 97 max FPS. The CPU was around 60%, and the GPU was in the 75% range for this. Looks like it's a pretty good combo. We have Black Myth Wukong next. The video super resolution is set to 100% because we are not doing upscaling. You can tell this game was a little tough to run. As you can see, I had to set everything to low. I did start off with medium settings, and I thought that would be absolutely fine, but the frame rate, as soon as we got to anywhere near water, was not very good. 5500 in this video just seemed like it was chilling out for the whole time and just using about 55%, so it really was not hard on the CPU at all. The results on the Wukong benchmark, the average was 48, the maximum was 58, and the minimum was 40 FPS. Considering the age of this card, I wasn't surprised, but I was hoping we would get 60 FPS. Possible if you turn on scaling.